Source video. This is the foundational content used as the basis for applying and testing various effects in the following segments. Choosing a clean, high-quality source video is crucial, as it allows for the most accurate representation of how each effect will interact with the footage. Ideally, the source video should come from a controlled environment, free from excessive noise or visual artifacts, so adjustments made by effects can be evaluated without interference from unnecessary elements. Analog damage early television. This effect is designed to replicate the visual characteristics commonly associated with early television broadcasts, which were marked by significant limitations in technology. The process involves adding random noise to simulate the static and interference that would interrupt broadcasts. In addition, color grading is adjusted to mimic the faded, muted color palette typical of the era, often leaning towards desaturated tones with lower vibrancy. The integration of scan lines, which are horizontal lines seen on some older screens, can be achieved by layering patterns over the video. Signal interference effects, such as distortion and misalignment of colors, replicate the transmission challenges faced by early broadcasters, further immersing the viewer in a nostalgic viewing experience reminiscent of watching vintage television. Analog damage 1960 BW. This segment emulates the aesthetics of black and white broadcasts from the 1960s, presenting a unique visual experience that reflects the time's technological constraints. Color grading techniques focus on desaturation to eliminate color entirely while potentially introducing slight color casts such as a warm yellow or cool blue tint to convey age or wear. The noise added may imitate the visual texture of low-resolution screens prevalent during the 60s. To enhance authenticity, film grain effects are incorporated to mirror the organic quality found in actual film footage. The addition of flickering effects captures the imperfections of the broadcast medium, with visible static and abrupt light variations regularly seen on television screens of that period, thus creating an immersive retro atmosphere. Analog damage 1960 color. This effect focuses on capturing the essence of 1960s color television broadcasts, offering a rich blend of nostalgia and vintage flair. The color grading process authenticates the softer color palette that characterized early color TV, often seen with pastel hues and slight bleeds where colors inaccurately merge due to technological limitations. Noise simulates the static and interference that viewers would occasionally experience during broadcasts. Additionally, techniques such as ghosting effects are used to replicate the phenomenon of color fringing seen in low-quality transmissions. The layering of visual artifacts ultimately creates an immersive experience, transporting audiences back to a captivating era of evolving media technology. Analog damage 1970. This effect is a deeper dive into the visual defects and characteristics presented in the 1970s television broadcasts, a period marked by the introduction of more sophisticated technology while still exhibiting distinctive flaws associated with earlier systems. Color fading is a prominent feature, manipulated through desaturation and adjustments to the brightness of hues to reflect common wear and degradation over time. The introduction of noise serves to recreate the constant static effect observed in lower quality broadcasts. Likewise, slight ghosting effects apply a soft overlay of trailing images, simulating the shortcomings of analog transmission that sometimes cause delayed image refresh, leading to blurry or overlapping visuals. The result is a rich and textured visual tapestry that could remind viewers of vintage film and television archives. Analog damage 1980. This effect seeks to encapsulate the experience of watching 1980s television, characterized by significant advancements in broadcast technology while still retaining familiar analog flaws. Color distortion is achieved through vivid hue shifts and enhanced saturation, reflecting the more vibrant aesthetics of the time. VHS tracking issues are also simulated. This involves lateral shifting, which creates subtle horizontal bands running across the frame, reminiscent of the warping that occurs with magnetic tapes. Dropout effects, where portions of the video momentarily fade to black or exhibit significant degradation, evoke the reality of aged tape formats encapsulating the wear and tear of time. This combination of visual elements creates a nostalgic reference point that audiences may recognize from both childhood memories and film treatments of the era. Analog damage 1990. This effect focuses on the transition into the digital age of the 1990s while still showcasing the remnants of analog technology. Slightly cleaner color grading makes use of vivid colors, presenting a more refined visual experience compared to its predecessors while maintaining notable imperfections. The noise introduced reflects the lesser degree of distortion found in this era, which carried the artifacts from both analog and early digital broadcasts. The sophistication of early digital video compression may be depicted through subtle pixelation artifacts, simulating the quality exhibited by compressed video formats of the time. This effect bridges the nostalgic gap between visually rich analog experiences and the nascent digital aesthetics, helping viewers connect with the technological evolution of television mediums. Analog damage clean VHS. This effect resembles a well-kept VHS tape, where the degradation and artifacts are minimal. Applying mild grain simulates the original VHS film texture without overwhelming visual clarity, providing a sophisticated appearance suitable for established media viewing. Color bleed is deliberately included to emulate the softness that VHS tapes often exhibit without completely diluting the quality. The goal is to manage nostalgia through an authentic representation rather than a smudged or heavily degraded appearance. By maintaining high fidelity, this style speaks to a potential collector's or archivist's nostalgia, drawing attention to the nuances that exist in even the cleanest of VHS tapes. Analog damage old VHS. The old VHS effect serves as a stark contrast by heavily simulating a long play tape full of the damage and artifacts accrued over years of usage. The simulation incorporates substantial grain to portray the wear and deterioration synonymous with 30 years of replay. The increasing dominance of color bleeding showcases significant degradation, creating an atmosphere akin to nostalgia steeped in memory. Tracking lines are meticulously replicated. These horizontal distortions are a signature of low-quality playback that visually disrupt the experience. Along with accompanying static noise, this holistic accumulation of creativity effectively emulates an authenticity that resonates with viewers who grew up watching television and home videos on VHS. Analog damage security camera. This effect encapsulates the low-quality aesthetics often associated with security camera footage, which can appear grainy and somewhat undefined. The approach involves lowering the resolution and introducing a monochrome grading scheme, which not only establishes clarity reduction, but also creates an austere and sterile environment reflective of surveillance footage. Grainy textures are applied to reflect the imperfections inherently present in most surveillance systems. Motion blur or subtle distortion techniques can also be implemented to echo the jerky and disjointed nature of security video footage typically recorded at lower frame rates. The resultant product evokes an ambience tinged with suspicion, surveillance, or urban realism tailored by the limitations of early camera technology. Aperture diffraction. This effect simulates the physical optical phenomenon of diffraction, which occurs when light waves spin around the edges of a small aperture in a camera lens. The implementation utilizes advanced blurring techniques that create soft halos around bright points of light. Luminance masks are strategically applied to help define areas of emphasis adjacent to high-contrast sections of the image where light interacts. By carefully controlling the depth and spread of these halo effects, this technique infuses the video with a distinct ethereal quality, commonly associated with professional cinematography. The rendering of light diffractions adds a layer of complexity and beauty that can enhance the overall aesthetics of the footage. Automatic dirt removal. This sophisticated technique targets unwanted dirt and dust particles that may mar the surface of digital video. Using AI-driven tools, the process incorporates pattern recognition algorithms that identify irregular spots and blemishes across frames. Once detected, it utilizes pixel interpolation methods that replace these distractions with adjacent pixel data, ensuring seamless corrections that retain the original's detail and integrity. This operation plays a significant role in modern cinematic production, wherein pristine visual quality is vital. By automatically cleaning frames of specks and other imperceptible imperfections, editors can streamline their workflow while significantly enhancing the overall visual fidelity of the content. Beauty. The beauty effect is tailored for enhancing the visual appeal of faces within video footage. Employing advanced face tracking algorithms, this technique identifies key facial regions, the eyes, lips, and skin texture to target effects specifically. Smoothing operations are applied to create a unified skin texture, expertly reducing blemishes and imperfections without contributing to an overly processed look. The method focuses on preserving natural indications of individuality while enhancing perceived attractiveness. Attention is given to ensuring that underlying facial features remain distinct, achieving a delicate balance between stylization and realism, thus catering to both casual viewing and high-fashion productions. Chromatic adaptation Bradford. This effect employs the Bradford chromatic adaptation model, which predicts how the human visual system adjusts colors under varying lighting conditions. Through precise mathematical transformations, LUT's lookup tables are used to finely alter the color spectrum of the footage. This results in a recalibrated appearance, enabling accurate hue representation under distinct lighting environments. The Bradford adaptation is notable for its clinical effectiveness, focusing on bridging the gaps in color representation that can occur during filming. As a result, colorists find this particularly useful for matching footage captured under multiple lighting sources, achieving a cohesive visual aesthetic across diverse scenes. Chromatic adaptation Bradford linear. Utilizing the Bradford chromatic adaptation model within a linear color space offers improved accuracy and fidelity during color adjustments. This method employs linear transforms to ensure that no critical visual data is lost during adaptation. With linear color representation, the integrity of luminance and chromatic information is preserved. The implementation provides colorists with control over adjustments while allowing for corrections as per the standards of various display technologies. The technique is essential when seeking coherent color grading in various lighting environments or when ensuring continuity across several shots filmed under differing spectrums. Chromatic adaptation CAT02. This adaptation utilizes the CAT02 model, a sophisticated algorithm aimed at assisting in color correction across diverse lighting scenarios. The approach relies primarily on extensive color conversion techniques that adapt RGB values according to the ambient light conditions. By capitalizing on state-of-the-art color science, this effect ensures that footage maintains its intended hue and saturation levels even when shot under fluctuating environmental lighting. Colorists appreciate its capacity to simplify the grading process and maintain color integrity when preparing images for different mediums, making it a vital tool in advanced post-production workflows. Chromatic adaptation CMYK 2000. The CMYK 2000 model is another chromatic adaptation tool that employs color science principles to refine color balance in variable lighting situations. By applying adjustments pursuant to the CMYK 2000 specifications, colorists can make effective corrections that ensure consistency in imagery. The process focuses on creating perceptually uniform color appearances through detailed mapping based on human visual perception. The intelligence underlying this adaptation assists in accurately reproducing colors across various displays while preventing visual discrepancies which can arise in dramatic lighting changes during shoots. Chromatic adaptation CMYK 97. Utilizing the CMYK 97 model for chromatic adaptation harnesses specific methodologies that adjust color balance to suit shifting lighting conditions. This model relies on algorithms that account for human perception shifts under different illumination types, allowing accurate color mapping that reflects true-to-life hues. The adaptation provides colorists with sophisticated tools to maintain coherency between shots taken in varying lighting scenarios, ultimately helping maintain continuity of visual storytelling. The goal here remains to facilitate seamless transitions between dynamic lighting conditions while upholding fidelity in color representation. Chromatic adaptation Sharp. The Sharp chromatic adaptation model seeks to refine colors based on human visual perception theory, adjusting footage to deliver recognizable and accurate color representations. By utilizing Sharp's foundational model constructs, this effect aims to transform chromatic properties in a controlled manner, ensuring the final output is both engaging and true to the original concept. This effect is particularly useful when working with footage acquired under multicolored lighting environments, assisting in retaining fidelity across the spectrum of colors present in digital captures. Chromatic adaptation von Kries. The von Kries model applies color adaptation processes based on perceptual shifts experienced by the human eye as lighting conditions change. The implementation makes use of established mathematical transformations to reassess RGB values, ensuring accurate color representation. By managing how colors are perceived under different conditions, it allows for nuanced corrections that tackle color balance issues while preserving visual integrity. This technique is particularly valuable in post-production environments where maintaining artistic intent and visual coherence is imperative. Chromatic adaptation XYZ scaling. The XYZ scaling method for chromatic adaptation effectively employs the standard XYZ color space to manage adjustments in color representation. This process involves scaling color values within the XYZ model, designed to ensure that perception remains consistent under varied lighting environments. By utilizing color science foundations and grading, this effect facilitates adjustments that enhance overall clarity while actively maintaining vibrant hues and saturation levels. This reliable adjustment mechanism serves well in productions that value fidelity and color precision across multiple display settings. Chromatic aberration removal. This technique is aimed at reducing or entirely eliminating chromatic aberration, a common optical distortion that manifests as color fringing around high-contrast edges in footage. To execute this effect, the RGB channels are meticulously aligned to eliminate offsets that create these undesired visual artifacts. Mathematical corrections are applied to adjust how colors separate around edges, effectively rehomogenizing the visual output and resulting in sharper, clearer images. By removing chromatic aberration, this technique ensures that footage maintains its visual quality, prominently reducing distractions from color misalignments. Color stabilizer. The color stabilizer effect ensures a consistent color balance throughout the entirety of the video, providing a smoother viewing experience. This is achieved through comprehensive analysis of color inconsistencies detected across frames, identify variations caused by incorrect lighting or camera settings. The tool then applies dynamic adjustments to primary colors, ensuring seamless transitions that maintain vibrancy and visual coherence. Consistency and color balance is vital in professional video production, and this feature plays a significant role in eliminating distracting discrepancies that can disrupt audience engagement. Contrast pop. This effect enhances the contrast within video footage to create a more dynamic and vibrant appearance. The technique typically utilizes contrast curves to adjust midtones effectively, providing a boost that adds depth and richness to the image. By carefully manipulating highlights and shadows, this effect creates a layered visual experience that emphasizes separation between subjects and their background. Enhanced contrast not only aids in delivering striking visuals, but also enhances the emotional depth of the narrative being conveyed, ensuring viewers remain captivated by the content. Deflicker. The Deflicker effect is designed to reduce or eliminate flickering artifacts typically caused by inconsistent lighting conditions. These often manifest during transitions between light sources. Utilizing complex algorithms, the technique analyzes illumination fluctuations across multiple frames to smoothen these inconsistencies. By leveraging adjustments that balance illumination levels, the effect preserves the integrity of the original footage while delivering a consistent viewing experience devoid of distracting flicker. This process is crucial in achieving high-quality results in video production, especially in settings with dynamic lighting conditions. Dehaze. The dehaze effect targets the removal of haze or fog from video footage to enhance clarity and visibility. The implementation works by boosting overall image sharpness and dynamically adjusting contrast levels to penetrate and offset the obscuring layer of haze. By employing selective brightness enhancements, this technique not only revives color vibrancy but also restores details lost in hazy visuals. Ultimately, dehazing contributes to a clearer visual narrative, allowing viewers to engage with the content while observing intricate details within the imagery. Depth map. The depth map effect generates a grayscale map that assesses the spatial relationships between various elements in a scene to replicate a three-dimensional effect. Using AI-driven algorithms, the technique evaluates distances between objects and background, creating a layered depth representation that enhances the perception of space within the frame. Depth maps are essential for 3D compositing, motion graphics, and adding atmospheric effects since they facilitate accurate layering according to depth information. This demonstrates the transition from flat images to engaging visual storytelling, thus significantly contributing to the emotional engagement of the viewer. Detail recovery. The detail recovery effect is focused on enhancing pertinent textural elements in the video to increase the perception of clarity and definition. High-frequency detail enhancements are employed, which focus on contrasting localized textures without flatly sharpening the entire image. By enhancing the intricate structures of surfaces, the resulting visuals are nuanced and clear, though subtle elements emerge from the background, enriching the overall quality. This effect is particularly beneficial in maintaining the contextual clarity of scenes where intricate detailing is critical for the narrative. Dustbuster. The dustbuster effect applies intelligent algorithms to detect and remove unwanted dust and scratches present within the video frames. By utilizing advanced pattern recognition techniques, the system identifies visual artifacts that compromise image quality. Once these imperfections are recognized, pixel interpolation takes place to fill in the gaps left after removal. This ensures the surrounding areas blend seamlessly. As a result, this effect preserves the continuity and coherence of the visual experience, smoothing over time-worn imperfections that may distract the audience. Face refinement. The face refinement effect focuses on enhancing facial features directly, improving the overall appearance of the characters in the footage. By employing advanced facial recognition algorithms, the tool tracks key facial components such as the eyes, mouth, and skin texture, enabling targeted smoothing and enhancement without compromising identity. This process uses nuanced adjustments that retain the natural uniqueness of each face, making the result look polished yet organic. The refinement emphasizes an ideal balance, allowing for personal expression while enhancing visual appeal, which is particularly beneficial in high-end fashion or beauty productions. False color specific camera Blackmagic URsa Mini Pro Film 800. The false color effect specific to the Blackmagic URsa Mini Pro camera applies a distinct false color palette that remaps luminance levels to facilitate exposure analysis. This method involves a careful conversion of brightness values into visually distinguishable colors, enabling cinematographers to dynamically assess image quality and exposure levels straight away. The meticulous palette serves as a guide for adjustments, allowing professionals to identify areas that may be overexposed or underexposed with distinct clarity, promoting informed decisions throughout the shooting and post-production processes. False color jet. The jet false color palette application uses color mapping to visually distinguish various intensity levels across the image. By assigning distinct colors to represent different levels of luminance, this technique helps operators identify gradients and find details that might otherwise be overlooked in a standard presentation. This false coloring may also assist in effectively monitoring exposure and provides a unique visual experience that emphasizes the relevant tonal variations, which is particularly useful in detailed image analysis. False color exposure guide. This effect implements a tailored false color palette that acts as a guide for assessing and adjusting exposure. The use of disparate colors highlights specific exposure levels, allowing cinematographers to quickly identify areas that are properly exposed versus those that fall into extremes of over or underexposure. This not only allows for more informed decision-making, but also streamlines time spent correcting imbalances during post-processing, ensuring that the resultant visual output maintains fidelity to the intended artistic vision. False color low-high clip. The low-high clip effect deploys a false color palette to indicate areas prone to clipping the darkest shadows and the brightest highlights. The calculations involved in this process efficiently identify clipping regions, providing a visual cue that can be easily interpreted through color overlaid on the image. This information aids cinematographers in actively monitoring exposure, granting them the ability to make necessary adjustments while filming to prevent loss of detail in critical areas of the scene. False color 5 bands. The 5 bands false color effect segments the image into 5 distinct bands of varying brightness levels, providing a nuanced visualization of exposure levels. Each band is assigned a unique color, allowing for precise analysis of tonal range within the footage. This detailing enables colorists and cinematographers to effectively assess their work based on specific exposure criteria, enhancing the observability of image quality and informing decisions in both shooting and editing phases. False color 10 bands. By increasing the complexity of the false color representation to 10 distinct bands, this technique enables even finer exposure separation across the visual spectrum. Each band is functionally color-coded to detail various intensity levels of brightness in the image, amplifying the accuracy with which exposure can be monitored and adjusted. This level of granularity is paramount in allowing detailed post-production work and creative choice in color grading while ensuring every aspect of the image maintains a high standard of quality. False color night vision. This effect simulates the look of night vision by applying a specialized false color palette primarily in hues of green. The advanced rendering mimics the design of real night vision optics, enhancing the recognition of objects in low-light conditions. Users can thus evoke feelings of tension or suspense in scenes that rely on the visuals projected by this effect. This approach allows directors to craft compelling narratives that tap into the genres of horror, espionage, or gritty storytelling while retaining contextual integrity. False color thermal. The thermal imaging effect applies a false color palette to recreate the visual gradation seen in actual thermal imaging. It emulates the distinctive color transitions associated with heat detection, where warmer areas are highlighted in various shades, while cooler regions take on different hues. This visually striking effect not only adds a unique aesthetic to the video, but can also serve as a useful storytelling tool, showcasing temperature variations in scenarios such as search and rescue operations or scientific explorations. False color temperature. This effect utilizes a false color palette tailored to visually represent variations in color temperature throughout the footage. The implementation precisely delineates how different lighting influences the hue and saturation values captured in any given scene, thus presenting visual cues that can assist colorists and cinematographers in achieving the desired tonal balance. This technique is ideal for maintaining consistent color representation across multiple shots, aligning them with the overarching narrative intent. Film grain 8mm. This effect introduces authentic 8mm film grain to the footage, recreating a vintage aesthetic reminiscent of home movies or classic short films. The integration of grain overlays based on digital scans of actual 8mm run-throughs provides textural authenticity, evoking nostalgia for earlier cinematic styles. By manipulating the granularity and density, editors can enhance the feel of the film, allowing modern videos to adopt the aesthetic charm associated with classic film formats. This tactile quality helps viewers connect emotionally with the visual narrative, cluing them into feelings of sentimental value. Film grain 8mm 50D, specifically tailored to embody the grain structure and appearance consistent with 8mm 50D film stock. This technique incorporates a well-defined pattern that mirrors the grain seen in original footage of comparable stock. The result delivers a richly textured visual aesthetic that appeals to cinematographers and videographers attempting to recapture the nostalgic quality while ensuring fidelity to period-specific techniques. This degree of specificity caters to creatives aiming to achieve a distinctive style that harkens back to the intimate and personal history of cinema. Film grain 8mm 100D. This effect draws upon the unique grain characteristics associated with 8mm 100D film stock, offering a specific density and texture that brings a classic cinematic style to video content. The application mirrors historical visual references, enhancing the organic film feel and allowing modern digital footage to emulate the tangible quality of analog recordings. This subtle integration of texture draws in viewers, reminding them of handheld family films or avant-garde artistic pursuits while pulling them into powerful storytelling. Film grain 8mm 250D. The 8mm 250D effect provides unique grain textures representing the specific qualities of that film stock, operate to achieve a moderate level of graininess while still retaining overall image clarity. Utilizing characteristics from 250D leads to a gentle balance between richness and vibrancy within the footage. Through careful calibration, creators can evoke nostalgic sentiments while enriching colors, thereby enhancing the emotional resonance of video experiences through its authenticity. Film grain 8mm 200T. This effect emulates the film grain characteristic of 8mm 200T, aiming for visually pleasing synthesis between grain and color saturation. The delicate addition of this grain texture positions it within nostalgic themes, providing a tactile experience without overwhelming the visuals. This application serves to bridge the gap between modern digital formats and their analog counterparts, emphasizing richness and dimension in storytelling by evoking memories of youthful film experiences. Film grain 8mm 500T. The implementation utilizes a unique grain profile associated with high-speed 8mm 500T film stock, showcasing characteristic heavy grain textures that evoke the time-honored look of vintage footage. By layering this grain, the final piece emphasizes the aggressive visual quality found in 500T captures, rendering a bold statement about the vibrancy and warmth associated with early film forms. This texture imbues the piece with authenticity, reinforcing the narratives tied to the experience of seeing through the lens of history. Film grain 60mm. This effect transfers the notable grain structure and visual traits characteristic of 60mm film stock into modern video content. By employing meticulous film grain overlays historically scanned from genuine 60mm film, creators can capture the essence of that format's textural quality. This not only enhances visuals, but cultivates a sense of authenticity and pilgrimage to historical cinema, making it indispensable in projects requiring vintage atmospheres for immersive storytelling. Film grain 50D. The addition of film grain characteristic of 50D stock enhances the depth and quality of the video while maintaining color integrity. This effect invokes subtle grain overlays tailored to 50D specifications, producing a clean yet textured look akin to high-quality cinema. Producers can imbue footage with a sense of artistry while drawing viewers into the emotional resonances that accompany carefully crafted filmic storytelling. Film grain 60mm 250D. This effect applies distinct grain textures to simulate the 60mm 250D experience in historical filming, facilitating richness and depth to the imagery. The tailored grain structures reflect the traits typical of this format, enhancing viewers' emotional engagement through warm nostalgic feelings that accompany complementary visuals. It accentuates the film's identity while fostering intimate storytelling experiences, connecting audiences to the past. Film grain 60mm 500T. Deploying a heavy grain overlay indicative of 60mm 500T stocks results in visuals that resonate with authenticity and historical depth. By layering influential grain, viewers can appreciate the vintage film aesthetics previously experienced a tactile quality that enhances the storytelling dynamic. This technique serves to enrich visual narratives, ensuring emotional connections rooted in nostalgia for early film styles. Film grain 16mm Archival. This effect seeks to replicate the textures found in high-fidelity archival quality 16mm film grain. By applying nuanced grain characteristics, the output crafts an imagery style that resonates with viewers' historical memory while ensuring readiness for the revised standards of digital distribution. The authenticity of this portrayal maintains visual richness that supports serious archiving efforts, while also stimulating viewer nostalgia and updated presentations. Film grain 16mm archival print. This technique utilizes the grain profile specific to archival 16mm prints, accurately imprinting the visual attributes associated with long-lasting, carefully preserved works of cinema. Through the grain additions, the overall nuance captures the deep essence of storytelling and reflects on the historical quality expected from fine archival standards. It safeguards the dynamism of character and emotion while connecting present-day viewers to timeless cinematic traditions. Film grain 16mm reversal. The application of grain associated with 16mm reversal films offers a vividly textured aesthetic seen in higher contrast color outputs. This film type generates specific granularity within images, blending its character with color saturation and warm tone qualities. The overall effect enables modern footage to embody the nuanced beauty prevalent in traditional film, transporting viewers into rich narratives while showcasing the medium's depth artistry. Film grain 35mm. This effect seamlessly incorporates the grain structures indicative of standard 35mm film stock into video projects. By layering genuine grain texture sourced from high-quality film, it enriches digital content with an organic appearance that recalls the beauty of classic cinema. The technique enhances overall visual storytelling while invoking nostalgia, reminding audiences of their experiences rooted in immersive film history. Film grain 35mm 200T. The 35mm 200T grain effect adapts the characteristic richness of the 200T film stock into digital footage. The density and granularity provide layers of depth and warmth reflective of traditional film qualities, allowing creators to embellish visuals with nostalgic flair. Maintaining essential clarity, this addition fosters a more grounded connection between historical aesthetics and present-day narratives. Film grain 35mm 400T. The 35mm 400T effect emphasizes the darker grain patterns associated with higher speed film, creating a layered texture that enhances emotional resonance and visual richness. This heavier grain application offers an authentic glimpse into the tactile experience provided by classic film, enabling modern footage to touch upon the cinematic history while executing contemporary storytelling. Film grain 35mm reversal BW. This effect introduces black and white grain patterns specific to 35mm reversal films, enhancing purely monochromatic visuals with a texture reminiscent of revered film history. Layering these textures boosts the organic quality while allowing contrast to breathe authenticity into narratives. This tactile texture experience fosters viewers' emotional connections to classic storytelling elements, adding distinctiveness and sentimentality. Film grain custom. Only grain. This customizable effect allows users to add specific film grain overlays without any additional elements, giving editors and creators the freedom to manipulate visual texture according to personal preferences. This method enables meticulously crafted environments by letting users fine-tune the granular characteristics of the footage, creating a highly tailored visual narrative. Such customization also allows for adjustments reflective of art or thematic desires while preserving the integrity of the source content. Halation 709 timeline. The halation effect within the 709 color space seeks to replicate the soft light bleed often observed in analog film when highlights spill over into adjoining areas. Through the use of specialized techniques that create a delicate separation between highlighted areas, This effect generates a subtle glowing effect that enriches the image. This transformative addition not only enhances the visual ambience but also creates a tactile, cinematic quality that evokes a sense of nostalgia for classic film experiences. Halation DWG. Implementing the halation effect using the DWG color space similarly revisits the theme of highlight bloom, accentuating the luminance found in bright spots of the image. By leveraging highlight separation techniques, this effect produces glowing enhancements that blend seamlessly with the natural visual attributes of the footage. The outcome is a nuanced representation resulting in captivating imagery that transcends the ordinary, enhancing both visual storytelling and emotional engagement. Frame Replacer. This sophisticated technique allows for the targeted replacement of specific frames in a video by either utilizing alternate images or utilizing frames from other sources seamlessly integrated into the active footage. The operation involves temporal spatial analysis, which ensures that frame replacements fit appropriately without interrupting the visual flow of the sequence. This process helps creators better manage continuity within storytelling while enabling artistic expressions, ultimately serving the evolving narrative in compelling ways. Lens blur. The lens blur effect convincingly simulates the dreamy out-of-focus backgrounds observed in standard photography. By employing selective focus techniques alongside depth masks, this effect mimics the aesthetic of bokeh. The blurring creates smooth transitions between sharp and out-of-focus areas, allowing the subject to emerge crisply within its environment while imbuing the scene with emotional depth. This method can emphasize key elements of a narrative while enhancing overall visual engagement, particularly in moments requiring introspection or focus. Lens distortion. This effect simulates various distortion patterns caused by specific lens types during filming. By applying mathematical corrections, it effectively emulates both barrel distortion, where images bow outward, and Panksian distortion, where images pull inward, which can significantly alter the perception of subjects within a frame. This technique not only allows for creative experimentation, but also presents audiences with a multifaceted experience and understanding of space, depth, and perspective within the visual narrative. Lens flare big. The big lens flare effect overlays prominent flares that are characteristic of high-intensity light sources within a scene. By applying additive techniques, the effect reproduces the organic and dramatic visual phenomenon experienced when light reflects off-camera lens elements. The introduction of these flares enhances the composition's appeal, offering a visually stunning aesthetic while injecting energy into the scene. This effect can serve as an evocative storytelling device, occasionally symbolizing impactful moments or heightened emotions within the narrative. Lens flare MIR-I 2.8/37 and emulating the lens flare generated by the MIR-I 2.8/37 lens. This effect captures the unique and specific light reflections attributed to this vintage lens style. By recreating the particular artifacts and flares associated with MIR-I optics, this technique allows filmmakers to access a historically rooted visual language that reflects craftsmanship and optical design. It serves to deepen the immersion within narratives that leverage retro aesthetics or explore historical themes, drawing attention to pivotal moments in storytelling. Lens flare late afternoon. This effect captures the warmth and elongated flares typical of late afternoon light, especially during sunset. By simulating the effect seen when sunlight glances off a lens, it imbues scenes with a soft, golden glow that evokes feelings of nostalgia and calmness ideal for romantic or reflective moments. The carefully curated light bleeds enhance visual aesthetics while reinforcing thematic elements, establishing an emotional resonance that resonates in viewers' experiences. Lens flare headlight. This effect intelligently simulates the lens flare effect that occurs from oncoming headlights. Through the combination of bright streaks and circular halos, this technique recreates the observational flares typical of nighttime environments. By offering cinematic realism, it enhances scenes involving vehicles or urban settings, creating an atmosphere of authenticity paired with heightened visual impact, often invoking feelings of suspense or adventure. Lens flare 1970 Sci-Fi. This lens flare effect draws inspiration from the iconic science fiction films of the 1970s, allowing creators to invoke nostalgia for classic genre aesthetics. By applying pronounced flaring artifacts characteristic of that era, the technique breathes life into retro-themed narratives, creating an otherworldly feel that resonates with fans of the genre. This application emphasizes an exaggerated visual spectacle that both honors and critiques the aesthetics of science fiction and film history. Lens flare modern sci-fi. This effect channels modern science fiction cinematic aesthetics by applying bright, vivid colors and exaggerated, flare-streaking visuals. The standout bursts of color and complexity found in modern flares elevate the dramatic impact of the visuals, drawing attention to key narrative elements while enriching the overall viewing experience. This technique facilitates exploration of contemporary sci-fi themes, augmenting viewer engagement with the radical flair often showcased in modern cinematic storytelling. Lens flare anamorphic handycam. This effect simulates the distinctive lens flare traits of an anamorphic handycam, transforming visuals through horizontal streaks and oval patterns. This technique effectively mirrors how light interacts with anamorphic lenses. The resulting artifacts add a layer of visual richness and stylization, contributing to stories that require a unique flavor reminiscent of handheld, amateur film techniques. Such a stylization can cultivate authenticity within personal narratives, vacation footage, or within narrative realms focused on realism. Lens reflections. The lens reflections effect introduces reflections onto footage, imitating how light interacts with lens elements during filming. By employing different blending modes, it overlays semi-transparent reflections that enhance the overall luminosity of scenes. This effect not only contributes to physical depth but also enriches atmosphere, cultivating resonant aesthetics tied to dreaminess or nostalgia. Lens reflections enrich character-focused narratives by lending a sense of intimacy, nuance, and lyrical quality that engages viewers on a deeper level. Motion blur. This effect simulates the natural blurring that occurs when objects move rapidly across the visual field, creating a sense of speed and action. The motion blur angle is typically aligned along the vector path of the object's movement, lending dynamism to action sequences. The result mimics natural motion perception, ensuring that high-speed actions remain crisp and impactful while also softening the distraction of abrupt movements. This technique enhances the realism and excitement of dynamic scenes, creating a connection between viewer and subject. Motion trails. This advanced effect adds trails to moving objects that enhance the perception of speed and fluidity. By analyzing the object's motion path, creative algorithms generate trailing artifacts that dynamically extend behind moving subjects, initiating a visually captivating narrative. This treatment adds character and energy to otherwise static scenes by visualizing motion as part of the storytelling. Such effects can emphasize dynamic actions, such as dance or sport, offering immersive visual experiences that celebrate motion. Noise reduction temporal. 5 frames. 100. This robust method enhances video quality by reducing noise across sequences, analyzing 5 frames in motion to smooth consistent noise patterns effectively. Temporal noise reduction accounts for motion and changes over time, comparing brightness values in multiple frames to filter out unwanted visual artifacts. The precision of this technique works to preserve image details while improving clarity, significantly vital for professional productions where high fidelity is a must. Noise reduction spatial 100. This effect targets immediate frames to assess spatial noise levels, employing a full-strength filtering technique to clean visuals. It essentially averages pixel values across the frame, utilizing filters to reduce unwanted noise while retaining significant detail. The powerful spatial filtering enhances the overall appearance of the scene, minimizes grainy distractions, and results in a polished look that can elevate professional video quality. Object removal. Advanced algorithms allow for precise removal of undesirable elements or objects from the video while maintaining the integrity of the background. By employing cloning and inpainting techniques, this process manipulates adjacent data to seamlessly replace the removed object, ensuring continuity and natural flow. The result aids filmmakers and video creators in achieving their desired visual narrative by allowing the freedom to craft stories free from distractions, thus compellingly highlighting primary subjects and themes. Patch Replacer. This technique allows users to replace specific patches or regions of video with alternate images or areas, utilizing spatial interpolation or cloning processes that ensure integration is seamless. By accurately analyzing surrounding areas, the integrated patches align perfectly for a fluid transition. This technique can elevate creative storytelling, enabling unique visual reinterpretations, and enriching the overall narrative through artistic choice. Sharpen. The sharpen effect applies enhancements to the clarity of the video, bringing details forward while making them more pronounced. High-frequency details are targeted through edge contrast boosts that draw attention to specific areas of interest within the frame. This technique enhances the perceived resolution and makes images appear crisper and more defined. Such precision and enhancement plays a crucial role in visual storytelling, ensuring that critical narrative elements remain vibrant and engaging. Sharpen Edges. This effect focuses specifically on sharpening the edges of objects within footage to improve clarity dramatically. By applying focused edge detection algorithms, it emphasizes the boundaries between contrasts, effectively enhancing definition and separation from surrounding elements. Such enhancements are invaluable in ensuring that subjects do not blend into backgrounds, maintaining visual hierarchy, and facilitating viewers' understanding of spatial relationships within scenes. Smear. The smear effect introduces a dynamic visual that mimics the impression of motion blurring or stretching. This effect utilizes directional stretching based on the velocity of moving objects, rendering them with a smudged appearance that emphasizes speed or intensity. The creative application enhances engagement by visually portraying action sequences or emotional impacts in an exaggerated manner. As a result, this serves to bolster the viewing experience, providing energetic visuals that make the narrative more captivating and fluid. Soften and sharpen. This dual application effect harmoniously combines softening and sharpening techniques to balance visual clarity and smoothness. While sharpen enhances contrast and definition, softening reduces noise and blemishes. This convergence fosters an overall refined quality in the footage. The unified outcome delivers a richer visual experience, enhancing overall emotional impact while ensuring viewers remain engaged with high fidelity and delicate detail. Stylize Antimonocromatismo, drawing inspiration from the Antimonocromatismo art movement. This effect applies stylization techniques that reflect art-inspired colors and brush styles, introducing abstract transformations to the footage. The result creates a vivid display of color relationships reminiscent of painterly expression, inviting viewers to experience visuals through modern and experimental perspectives. This artistic imposition can transform narrative styles, delivering a fresh take within the art context. Stylize Asheville, inspired by the Asheville art style. This effect applies a vibrant color palette and dynamic texture alterations that reflect specific local artistic expressions. The manipulation enhances visual narratives, embedding regional cultural elements and authenticity within the footage. The outcome emphasizes the vibrancy and emotion of art that fuels creative perspectives, encouraging exploratory journeys within storytelling that resonate with community influences. Stylized brushstroke. This effect mimics painting styles by applying brushstroke effects to transform the video into a visually compelling artistic expression. It utilizes simulation tools that render variable edges and textures akin to those created with a brush, infusing video frames with expressive art qualities. This treatment allows for creative experimentation, providing modern storytelling with offbeat and captivating aesthetics that appeal to both traditional and contemporary artistic sensibilities. Stylize Candy. The candy effect draws on vivid color palettes and vibrant visuals inspired by the playful nature of candy aesthetics. Over-enhanced saturation invigorates textures within the footage, delivering a sweet and inviting look that captivates viewers. This visualization style aligns perfectly with themes of youth, fantasy, or joyous exploration, enabling narratives to foster engagement through color emotionality that corresponds with visceral reactions. Stylized Chinese brush. This effect pays homage to traditional Chinese brush painting by incorporating brushstroke textures and classic ink wash colors that evoke nostalgia and cultural significance. The application represents visual narratives in an artistic manner that embodies mindfulness, tranquility, and aesthetic beauty, ensuring viewers appreciate both the historical and personal connections offered through artistic expression. Stylize Kandinsky composition. By applying a stylization effect inspired by Wassily Kandinsky's work, this technique presents visuals in abstract forms that involve geometry and color correlation. The resulting transformations invite viewers into a world of interpretative experience, merging visual arts with abstract expressionism. The colorful, abstract composition further enriches the narrative structure and emotional depth, establishing a connection between visual experimentation and the artistic lens. Stylized dance. This effect brings forth dynamic visual motions via flowing lines and rhythmic patterns, reflecting the essence of dance within the footage. By creatively representing movements and gestures, the effect creates captivating narratives that mirror physicality, motive expression, and artistic engagement. This immersive stylization can translate into visually compelling storytelling, inviting audiences to experience the seamless choreography of action and emotion. Stylize Edtaonisl, drawing inspiration from Paul Klee's painting Edtaonisl. This effect embodies a blend of color and form that aligns with Klee's unique stylistic expression. The resulting transformations evoke feelings of harmony and abstraction, allowing viewers to experience visual storytelling through the lens of transcultural art. By embracing elements of surprise and whimsy, this style invites exploration into dynamic narratives, lending itself to imaginative contexts. Stylized feather. This softening effect creates a gentle, feathery appearance in visuals, characterized by smooth transitions blended with light gradients. The technique employs algorithms to introduce a delicate touch that enhances textures while conveying an airiness to the scene. Such light and subtle approach promotes a sense of tranquility, creating a refined visual atmosphere that enhances emotional storytelling. Stylize illustrated portrait. This effect transforms video contents to resemble illustrated portraits, simulating techniques reminiscent of hand-drawn art. By employing localized color fills and line work emulation, this produces visuals that embody the aesthetics of illustrated works. This artistic interpretation enriches narrative expression by cultivating unique engagements with subjects, revisiting themes of accuracy complemented by personal artistry. Stylize La Muse, inspired by the painting La Muse by Paul Gauguin. This effect imbues video with color palette and texture reminiscent of Gauguin's stylistic techniques. The result translates visual narratives into rich, dynamically composed environments that reflect historical and emotional connections. By tapping into the emotional potency of art, This stylization fosters profound engagement with themes of identity and cultural significance. Stylize Mondrian. This effect channels the geometric abstraction of Pi Mondrian, translating visuals into grid patterns complemented by primary colors. The stylization emphasizes simplicity and harmony within the frame, echoing Mondrian's foundational theories of balance and composition. Such a narrative stylistic form invites viewers to appreciate the dynamics of modernism and abstraction within cinematic storytelling, fostering exploration into the relationship between visual structure and artistic intent. Stylized stained glass. This visually compelling effect emulates the fragmented and beautiful designs typical of stained glass art. By applying intricate color patches and defined borders, the effect recreates a revered, multidimensional aesthetic that captivates audiences' imagination. The resulting visuals can mirror themes of beauty, history, or religious significance, creating varying emotional resonances tied to the exploration of art through imagery. Stylized Cafe Terrace, inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Cafe Terrace at night. This effect infuses visuals with the artist's iconic use of colors and brushstroke textures. It aims to replicate the warmth and liveliness of the night scene depicted by Van Gogh, channeling profound emotional connections to the scene. Through such rich elements, viewers experience a profound virtual connection to its cultural background, enhancing stories revolving around intimacy and liveliness. Stylized Impressionist Reservoir. This effect reflects the rich visual language observed in Impressionist painting, echoing soft colors and blurred views that convey fluidity and light interaction across water surfaces. By evoking visual narratives tied to everyday life and outdoor experiences, it fosters an emotional connection to tranquil moments. The artistic style specifically pays tribute to the beauty of natural settings while encouraging engagement with the artistic heritage of Impressionism. Stylized Screen, inspired by Edvard Munch's emotional piece The Scream. This effect transmits visceral intensity through distortion and vibrant palettes that carry feelings of anxiety and emotional turmoil. By translating the visual language of Munch into cinematic forms, the effect invites viewers to feel and engage with depth, amplifying storytelling elements rooted in emotional expression and psychological themes, thereby capturing the essence of human experience. Stylized Proto-Cubist Portrait. This effect channels the aesthetics of early Cubist portraits by simplifying visuals into geometric shapes that celebrate form and structure. This stylization presents a modern reinterpretation of Cubism, allowing creators to explore identity through abstraction while allowing viewers to appreciate artistry that challenges traditional representations. This process of re-examination fosters thoughtful engagement and unique visual dynamics. Stylized Udny, with roots in Andy O'Modigley's painting Udny. This effect channels the particularities of his artistic language, emphasizing elongated figures and subtle contours. The result transforms narratives into an artistic expression that seems fluid and organic, inviting contemplative interactions with subjects. This effect allows the exploration of form and identity in resonance with historical artistic movements while establishing distinctiveness in visual storytelling. Stylized Great Wave, capturing the iconic aesthetic of Hokusai's The Great Wave off Kanagawa. This effect merges striking color contrasts and sharp lines to evoke sensational power and dynamic movement. By integrating elements of traditional Japanese art into modern narratives, creators can portray natural forces with dramatic flair, resonating with themes of adventure, struggle, and beauty encapsulated in nature's unpredictability. Stylized Fauves Portrait. drawing from the vibrancy and bold forms encapsulated in Fauvist art. This effect amplifies color intensity and visualizes simplifications that celebrate strong, emotive expressions. By simulating the painting techniques of the era, viewers are invited to reconnect with visual language rich in emotional depth and engagement. This stylization fosters broader narratives that tap into neurological responses tied to rich, emotive color representations. Surface tracker in reverse. This advanced tracking technique identifies the surface of a moving object and deftly applies effects in reverse. By adeptly following the dynamic surfaces and maintaining consistent transformation inversions, this effect creates visually compelling alterations that retain accuracy throughout motion. It allows for novel artistic expressions and is particularly useful in narratives where novel visual techniques enhance storytelling quality. Texture pop. This technique enhances the textures present within video frames to accentuate tactile qualities. By applying mechanisms that emphasize microcontrasts throughout different surfaces, this method serves to draw attention to the intricate details often overlooked, amplifying perceived texture. The resultant visual experience enhances storytelling by providing enriched depth, enabling viewers to connect more profoundly with the visual narrative. Tilt-shift blur. The tilt-shift effect simulates the optical illusion of miniature photography by selectively applying gradient blurs across the image to create a shallow depth of field. By blurring portions of the image while keeping central subjects in sharper focus, audiences are presented with uniquely styled visuals that evoke playfulness and whimsy in the narrative. This treatment enhances themes relating to nostalgic perspectives as it transforms everyday scenes into vibrant, Dalek representations. Warper. The warper effect creates dynamic distortions and curvatures across video footage, allowing for creative interventions that lead to innovative visual interpretations. By utilizing vector mapping algorithms, this effect achieves fluid and complex transformations that enrich visual storytelling, enabling creators to engage audiences with unconventional representations. By pushing creative boundaries, the effect invites exploration into imaginative narratives, contributing to artistic diversity and visual expression.